All right, I want to talk about a rule of thumb concept sort of thing that I used a lot throughout my personal recovery journey, and that you can use too when you're trying to figure out, what should I be doing in this current situation. So, as I say this, we are assuming that you have ideal nailed down, right? You're able to respond. That's key. That's first and foremost. So once you're there, we're going to talk about something you can ask yourself. And I would ask myself this literally daily. And that is, what would I do in this situation if I did not have anxiety or if I were not symptomatic? And that is definitely going to be the route that you're going to take for recovery. So I'll give you some examples. For example, thinking about some of the smaller things, right? Um, when I was really symptomatic, but I had started recovering in the beginning, I went from having my husband home with me 24/7. If he needed to leave for like a minute, my mom would come over because I just did not want to be alone. So that's how it started. And when I started recovering, I started using this rule of thumb and I would ask myself, what would I do if I weren't symptomatic? And my husband said, hey, I'm going to go on a run around the neighborhood for like 30 minutes. I would say, okay, cool, have fun, right? So I would ask myself, what would I do? And that's the choice that I would try to make as much as possible. So say that I'm sitting there, I'm super symptomatic, I feel like I'm gonna faint, yada, yada, yada. All that I want to do is tell my husband, no, please stay home with me because I feel so bad. I feel like I'm gonna pass out, whatever. Is that gonna get me to recovery? No. What is going to get me to recovery? Showing myself that, hey, he can go on a run, you can stay home alone, you did this, your whole life. You're gonna be safe, you're gonna be fine. So that's the normal thing to do. And so I'd say, okay, go on your run, have fun. And then I would respond with ideal to my symptoms as they popped up. And I would do the dishes or read a book or whatever I was doing, right? Another example, say that, um, we'll use something bigger. Say that your family wants to go on a vacation, right? And it's 3 months from now. And maybe you're in the mode like I was, where you are not scheduling anything out in advance because you don't know how you're going to feel, which is something that can very much hold you captive and not what we want to do, right? But say you're in that mode right now, and anxiety brain wants to tell you, don't schedule the vacation. We don't know how we're going to feel. We could feel worse. We're not going to be able to handle it, whatever. And you ask yourself, okay, well, if I wasn't symptomatic, what would I do? Oh, I love vacations. I love, camping trips, whatever. Then that's the route that we want to take. We want to go ahead and schedule that in advance. When the anticipatory anxiety pops up, we're going to respond. We're going to understand that even if, I have a really high symptomatic week, the week of the vacation, I'm still going to be fine. I can still respond. I'm still equipped to handle it. And, worst case scenario, it'll be a huge opportunity for me to recover in the right direction, even if I feel like crap the whole vacation, right? Um, Thinking of some other little things, maybe driving specific routes, driving at night, driving in the rain, driving over bridges, like that sort of thing. Ask yourself, what would I do? I think you get the point, right? So I would say use this rule of thumb for everything. And the only thing you don't want to use it for is like maybe things that you used to do that were unproductive. Like, I don't know, if something really bugs you and you used to sit there and ruminate and ruminate and ruminate on it, we're not going to ask ourselves, what would I do if I hadn't, joined this recovery program? But it's more so like living life type stuff. So I hope that makes sense and I hope that helps. And I use that so, so much.